Massively multiplayer online role-playing games have attracted millions of players worldwide for decades. In this genre, we can distinguish two main types of games: sandbox and theme park. These two approaches differ significantly in design philosophy, which leads to entirely different player experiences. In this video, we will take a closer look at the differences between sandbox and theme park games, their advantages and disadvantages, and how they influence player communities and the future of this genre. Sandbox games focus on freedom and creativity. They provide players with tools to shape the game world according to their needs. The name sandbox comes from the metaphor of a sandbox, a place where children can build, destroy, and experiment without restrictions. Key features of sandbox games include open world. Players have a vast space to explore and can decide what they want to do without imposed limits. No linear progression. There is no predetermined development path. It's up to the player whether they want to be a warrior, merchant, explorer, or builder. Player communities. Sandbox games often rely on player relationships, such as trade, politics, or wars. Player-driven economy. Players control markets by providing most goods. Player content creation. Players can build houses, cities, or even entire empires that become part of the shared world. Examples of sandbox games include Ultima Online, one of the pioneers of sandbox MMO games; EVE Online, known for its complex economy and politics, as well as massive PvP battles; PAX Day, a new game focused on freedom in community creation and an open world. On the other hand, theme park games offer more structured and planned gameplay. They resemble an amusement park where every attraction is designed by the creators. The following features define theme park games. Structure. Players follow a defined path from start to finish with a clear progression. Developer-created content. Main attractions in the game include missions, dungeons, and raids planned by the developers. Limited player interaction. While players can cooperate in groups or guilds, most of the game is based on individual achievements. Regular updates. Developers add new content, such as expansions or seasonal events, to keep players engaged. Strong narratives. Stories in theme park games are key elements, differentiating them from more open sandbox worlds. Examples of theme park games include World of Warcraft, a game that became an icon of the genre due to its rich narrative. Final Fantasy XIV offers a rich storyline and numerous PvE activities. The Elder Scrolls Online combines exploration with planned, story-driven experiences. The main differences between these two types of games are related to the game world, player progression, social interactions, and game content itself. Game world approach. Sandbox. The world is dynamic and shaped by players. For example, in EVE Online, intercorporate politics influence the entire galactic order. Theme park. The world is designed by developers and doesn't change based on player actions. In World of Warcraft, players can explore the story, but their actions don't significantly impact the world. Player progression. Sandbox. There's no one path of progression. Players choose what they want to do, from building to fighting. Theme park. Progression is typically linear, guiding the player through levels, quests, and equipment. Sandbox. Interactions between players are crucial. The game revolves around trade, politics, and wars. Theme park. Interactions are often limited to PvE or PvP groups. The game focuses more on individual achievements. Sandbox. Game content is created by players. In Minecraft, players build cities that become part of the shared world. Theme park. Content is provided by developers, such as raids and events. Advantages of sandbox games. Freedom. Players can explore, experiment, and create without restrictions. Creativity. Sandbox games allow players to create content and influence the game world. Longevity. The sandbox world evolves based on player actions. Disadvantages of sandbox games. Learning curve. These games may be more challenging for new players. Lack of structure. Some players may feel lost without clear objectives. Dependence on community. The game can feel empty if there aren't enough active players. Advantages of theme park games. Accessibility. Theme park games are easier to understand for new players. Rich narrative. Developers can create epic stories and worlds in theme park games. Regular updates. Developers provide a constant stream of new content. Disadvantages of theme park games. Lack of freedom. Players are limited to planned activities. Fast burnout. Once the available content is completed, the game may lose its appeal. Limited player impact on the world. Players don't influence the game world as much as in sandbox games. The MMORPG genre has a long history, and its future is just as exciting. Although many people believe MMORPGs have been dominated by the theme park model, recent years have shown changes in how developers approach game design. New technologies, changing player preferences, and the growing popularity of hybrid games may shape the future of this genre. Modern MMORPGs increasingly combine elements of both sandbox and theme park, aiming to offer players greater freedom while maintaining structures that guide them through main storylines and important events. Games like Guild Wars 2, Black Desert Online, and Albion Online mix different elements of both approaches. In Guild Wars 2, players can participate in dynamic events that impact the world but still follow clear story paths. Meanwhile, Black Desert Online offers an extensive crafting system and free exploration, but doesn't shy away from organized events and raids typical of theme park games. In the future, MMORPGs may further develop this trend, offering players a wide range of options that allow them to freely experiment within larger, planned structures. We can expect developers to integrate better artificial intelligence mechanics to make the game world more responsive to player actions, creating dynamic yet structured experiences. Modern technologies, such as artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and virtual reality, have the potential to greatly impact the future of MMORPGs. AI can help create more advanced, complex NPCs that react to player actions more naturally and adapt to their strategies. The introduction of virtual reality could completely change how players experience virtual worlds, offering deeper immersion through full interaction with the environment. Augmented reality could bring games into our daily lives, allowing players to experience games that merge with reality. Imagine a game where players meet in real-world locations and interact with environmental elements like virtual characters or items visible only to them. In both sandbox and theme park games, strong communities play a huge role in the development of the genre. Changes in game management approaches, such as greater focus on moderation and creating safe spaces for players, may determine the future of the genre. Modern games are more open to community diversity, and game developers strive to introduce mechanisms that promote positive interactions between players, helping avoid toxic behavior and encouraging cooperation. Over the years, MMO games have increasingly included social aspects, such as guild systems, player-run events, and content creation and modding. This ensures that future games may not only be spaces for entertainment, but also places to build lasting relationships and shared experiences, both in-game and beyond. The economy in MMORPGs is also evolving. In sandbox games like EVE Online, the player-driven economy is a key element of gameplay, with many players acting as producers, traders, or business owners. In contrast, in theme park games like World of Warcraft, the economy is more reliant on systems designed by developers, although players can still participate. In the future, we may see greater integration of both approaches. New games could combine player-driven economies with more structured, developer-planned elements. The MMORPG genre is undergoing dynamic evolution, and both sandbox and theme park games continue to serve as the foundation of what the genre offers. While these two approaches are fundamentally different, their future seems more fluid than ever, with an increasing number of games blending elements of both philosophies. Players can expect experiences that offer both the freedom to shape the world and deeply planned, engaging stories. The future of the genre will also involve deeper integration of new technologies like artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and virtual reality. This means that our experiences in virtual worlds will become more immersive, and games will be increasingly tailored to players' individual needs. At the same time, the growth of communities in MMORPGs will become even more important. Game developers will need to ensure that virtual spaces are safe, collaborative, and open to player creativity. MMORPGs are not only entertainment, but also places for building relationships and sharing passions. MMORPGs remain one of the most fascinating genres of computer games. Though technologies, mechanics, and design approaches change, one thing remains unchanged. Virtual worlds continue to captivate players for hours, offering unforgettable adventures and unlimited freedom. Whether you prefer the sandbox freedom or the theme park structure, MMORPGs remain a unique form of entertainment with an exciting future ahead. That's it for today. Which approach do you prefer? Complete freedom and creativity, or a structured, engaging story? Let us know in the comments which game you prefer and why. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss out on future content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.